Good evening, everyone. I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and I'm here today with my to unbox a new to me yarn subscription, Darn Good Yarns, or Darn Good Yarn of the Month Club. Every month they will send you a cool little package with some yarn, a pattern, and some kind of special gift. And unfortunately, I had a page with some notes. And I was like, oh, I went live and where are my notes? All right. Yeah. So my affiliate link for this is in the video description, and Darn Good Yarn has actually given all of you a coupon code, ChemKnits15, so you can get 15% off your first month's order. Now, this subscription is $10 for everything that is in the box, but that does not include shipping. I believe within the US, shipping is $3.95. They do offer international shipping, but I'm assuming that would be more expensive. So shipping is not included, but so you can get it within the US to your door for $13.95. And apparently the value of one of these boxes is $30. The one other thing I will note is that once you sign up, it'll take a couple weeks. Hi, welcome everyone. It'll take a couple of weeks to get your first box. And because of that, they automatically skip, I guess, the second month. So that way you're not charged for your second box before your first one ships or something like that. There are more details about all that on their website. And I also have one of my links to their FAQ if you want to learn more. But anyway, let's start opening this up. So first thing, bright purple box that is beautiful and fun. So enjoy your journey. I craft so hard I sweat glitter. My yarn and I are similar, as it unwinds I do too. Yarn is my happy place. And I guess the last slide doesn't say anything because that's where my address is. But and I don't think I have scissors, you guys. Okay, so to open it, clearly I have to get up and grab my scissors. I was like, oh, I'll just be able to rip this open. Oh, this is what happens when I'm like rearing to go. Okay. But I do like, it's a nice sturdy box. It arrived like really nicely. Okay, let's open up. Whoa. Okay, so this is the first look inside our box. So I know it's supposed to come with yarn, a knitting pattern, a crochet pattern, and then some kind of extra. Ooh, it looks like my extra is US size 8, 5mm ombre knitting needle and crochet pack that apparently has a value of $19.99. So these, oh, interesting. So I was like, oh, are there some missing? Because I was wondering if it was like a double pointed needle set because they're so short. But these are, so it's like a lacquered wood. And so these are US size 8, 5mm. And something about them makes me think of like a golf tee or something. It's kind of a nice shape. So they're short, but pretty cool. Yeah, they do look like giant golf tees. And so there's a crochet hook, I guess. That's the same size. So at first, when I looked at it, it looked like I had a 3-needle set. But I have to say that these are beautiful looking. The wood, oh, that's just, I think, a little bit of, okay, that was just a little bit of debris on one. Yeah, the purple tips are fun. They're nice and smooth. So I think that they should work well, but they're not super slick. So I think that, well, these are stamped with their brand. So they have Darn Good Yarn on the end. So I feel like, you know how some wooden knitting needles are so slick that the stitches feel like they'll slide right off? these are, I mean, it's not sticky, but it's more, there's a little bit more of a resist. So therefore I think that stitches might like not fall off as fast. So I'm actually really impressed with these. Yeah, so okay, so I've never seen a combo like knitting and crochet pack before, but I love purple, so that is cute. Okay, now let's take a look at our yarn. These colors are awesome. This is a bright sort of rainbow, like a pink centered rainbow. So we don't have red. I guess there's a little orange, but it's like a pink orange, you know? So this is a very me colorway. Let's see a little more about, so this is worsted weight silk roving yarn in the color watercolors. So it says to use, a size 7 to 9 needle, which the needles that they gave me are perfect, I guess, to use with this yarn. And I guess it's hand dyed and hand spun in India by women there. And it says we believe in helping people find their true joy. Our respectfully sourced products are designed and to inspire artful living while providing lifelong connections. So how much is there? So this is the 50 gram. Whoops, that was my fault. I just snapped the tag. So it's funny, I had read some reviews beforehand and people said that the yarn wasn't tagged, but this is definitely tagged, so that's nice. But it is, I guess, so it's 50 grams of 100%. Well, it says it's worsted weight silk, so therefore I'm going to assume that it's 100% silk. It's very soft, and so the reason why I was sniffing it is because I read some complaints that some of the stuff, I read some odor complaints, and this actually doesn't smell like anything. So it's actually like really, I'm really happy with this yarn. I kind of wish there was more of it, but yeah, I'm happy. Okay, so let's see what else is in the box. Okay, so at the very bottom, we've got a packing slip. Hope they say that I hope I'll love the DGY of the month club. I think that they like took the club offline for a little bit and revamped some of it. So now I've got this booklet. And so, interesting. There's something like there's like a first box URL for me to check out at the end. Okay, so, I guess purple is the CEO's favorite color, and so that's why they're purple. Well, I'm looking to see, because it's supposed to come with a knitting and crochet pattern. Okay, so the booklet has some more information about the yarn, which is, I guess, the same that is in there, but it has some information about the needles, too, which I guess are also made in India. So here's, like, the booklet about, like, what's in the box. So I guess this might be a first box kit, which therefore then I don't know if this is the same. Like for me, if this is a first box kit, I guess I don't know if that's different from other boxes. Okay, so the first pattern here is the Snow Big Deal cowl. And it looks like a small slip. Okay, so it's sort of like a slip stitch. The pattern kind of reminds me of like the back of a heel. Okay, so and then the crochet project is a ripples necklace. Let's see if you can see there. I'm not sure if it's focusing or if there's enough light, but it's sort of like a, well, I guess you can see like from the diagram. So it's sort of like a chevron type pattern. Cool. So one thing I do know is that you can, if you do sign up for this, you can skip a month. So there's some, And so it's weird for me because I don't really have like a login to like go and see the account stuff since this is a sample box. I think that like you would log in and there's some way that you can skip a month. So if you know you're going to be out of town or you haven't used the last box, you can, without completely canceling, you can skip the month. And then the subscriptions, I guess, ship around the 20th of the month. So yeah, I guess mine I've got at the early of the month, but again, it has it has this like scan me for like a first box URL, which I'm now curious about. But it does show that you could like an Instagram and you can try to win stuff. Most of what you've seen is novelty stuff, which, yeah. So yeah, they do have like fair trade policy and stuff. You've only seen t-shirt weight yarn by them. Nice to know they do other weights as yarn. Yeah. So I think that overall with so a lot of the patterns that are in like this picture are a little more interesting to me than the ones that they put in here. I think like the knit the knit pattern is like a 2-row pattern. And the crochet pattern is a little more complicated. I mean, there's not a lot you can make with just 50 grams of yarn, but I think that it's really, really beautiful. I think these colors are great. I'm curious about, I'm trying to like see if I can pull an end out. Aha. I'm curious if what the color progression is. So I am pleasantly surprised, but what I don't know, so what I'm concerned about is like, I think that every box is supposed to come with some kind of extra, but I heard that some people, so one of the complaints I heard was that some people said that their needles didn't show up in the package. It said they'd come in the next package, but then their second package was skipped, and so they never got the needles. So I don't know if the needles maybe only come in the first package, and then the other kind of presents or something else, or if you get needles in multiple packages, or what. But this is nice. It actually, like, it's kind of fun. So when I did, I'm like totally wrapped around my tie, but it does look like, yeah, so can you get a sense of the color progression? I have no idea if it's repeating or random, but I think the colors are, you could really not get more Rebecca colors than purple tipped needles and this. It feels, and it's unclear to me if this is recycled, and it's recycled silk or not, because it doesn't necessarily say, but it does feel like, sometimes silk can, like, this doesn't feel sticky or anything. I've spun like silk hankies and stuff before, and sometimes like it can feel like almost a little stiff, and this feels like nice and like really, really soft. So, like it feels like it's been like, I don't know, like handled in like the positive kind of way where it's not just like too stiffly spun. So it just says that it's worsted weight silk. That's I guess the name of the yarn is worsted weight silk. So that's what I have. Yeah, so that's what I heard too, but this is definitely, this doesn't feel like it was spun from silk threads or something. This feels that it was actually spun from silk fibers. It's a single ply yarn, and so it's like thick and thin. I mean, it's very reminiscent to me, except it's softer than some of the 100% silk yarns that I've spun. So, yeah, and I think, yeah, I mean, I don't smell anything, so, because I was like, okay, I read some complaints and I wanted to sort of like try to address them. So yeah, so we did get, so there is like a knitting pattern and a crochet pattern, the yarn, and then the needles. So in theory, with this box, you could make the projects in this box with just the kit. There's nothing else you really need. Now, I think this is a very beginner-friendly set as well. So if someone is starting out, then this might be better than some other subscriptions just because the projects are shorter and less technically complicated, I think, to work on. I think that the box, the box itself is lovely. I really enjoyed opening this up. Now, I don't have a summation of the value of everything in this box. The only thing I do have is it has that the needle set is valued at $19.99. And I guess, personally, I would have preferred instead less needle. Like, if I were to pick like a subscription box, I guess I would prefer to have less needle, more yarn, if that makes sense. But that's just because I have a huge collection of needles. But there are, for projects that are short, like some of the ones that they suggested in the box, I don't like using my straight knitting needles because I find they're way too not necessarily what I would have like, I wouldn't have necessarily like chosen something that if I knew, and I don't think you get needles every month. You might get other notions and stuff. But frequently I'll use like my interchangeables or something and like use my round needles as flat ones because I just don't want the ends sort of like sticking out. But yeah, so these are the tops of the knitting needles. Guess one concern is, so I am able to scrape off the, and not too intentionally. It might be worth actually going and scraping off the size markings before they, like it comes off on whatever you're knitting. There was like a piece down here, but they are sort of coming off on me. So, all right, so overall, what do I think of the box? Overall, I think it's I think that it's a fun little box. I think that, I'm really, really happy with the colors and stuff. I do wish there was more yarn. I think that, I think that everything that's in here is reasonable for a $10 box value. I think that, and I really like their fair trade mission. I just, like, again, I guess, like, I really like the needles. I just wish that there was more yarn maybe. And I mean, it's hard to say because I'm not a beginner knitter. So me personally, I'd prefer a more complicated knitting pattern. I mean, it's nice to see a suggestion, but it's not something that I don't think it's a pattern that I would necessarily make. However, if I had like a kit, someone I was trying to teach to knit, then it could be a really good pattern for teaching someone else. So I think that if someone is like just getting started, then the patterns are really unintimidating. And so that's like a really nice thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm pleasantly like surprised because when I saw, I was like, at first I was like, oh, $10. What will be there for $10? And I know that they offer like, I haven't gone like extensively through their website. They apparently also have a fabric of the month and a bead of the month club as well. Yeah, and I honestly have no idea what the international shipping fees. I didn't know like a good trial address and zip code to test that out. So I just checked for within the US. But yeah, I think that, I mean, they were really, really nice and stuff too. So I like that. But yeah, I mean, these colors are awesome. I'm trying to decide what I would want to make with it because it's really, really, really soft. But again, I wish there was more of it. I wish I had 100 grams, just because this isn't, how many yards is it? 75 yards. Yeah, it's a problem I have a lot with when I'm doing my own hand spuns as well. I feel like, I make these gorgeous yarns, but then I don't have enough yardage to make anything that I really want to make. And so that's a problem I'm constantly running into when I'm doing my own yarns. Yeah, I think that you might be able to get, you could probably get some cool wrist warmers or something. I think a full mitt might be hard with only 77 yards, but it depends on how loose. The necklace, I mean, it would certainly be really fun to make like a little toy or something out of it. I mean, I love it. It's just, I want something that's more like I love making little toys, like a lot. But it's so soft that, yeah. Oh, so Mary, was this your first month as well? Or did everybody get this yarn this month? Because so what I don't know, this is the one thing I don't know, is that I assume that, in March they send everyone the same box, but maybe they just send like a different sort of booklet if it's your first one versus like a reoccurring one. So maybe this is what everyone else is getting this month. So that's one thing I absolutely don't know, is if there's like, I mean, I would assume that if any of you order within the month of May, that you will get the identical thing to what I just got. But what I don't know is if you are already a subscriber, if you would get that, or if you would get something different. So that's what I don't know. But yeah, I'm really surprised with how soft this is. Because I know sometimes recycled sari silk yarns can be a little stiffer. But this is just really, really, really soft. And I'm glad that there's a label. Because I would hate to put something in my stash and then not know how much there was. I tend to weigh. Oh, so you ordered in December, and this is what it looks like what you received. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. I do know that you can add on, like if you're ordering the subscription, you can add on a $5 surprise, and I have no idea what that is. So so that's not something that I've tested, but yeah, I mean, I think that like the quality of this seems really, really nice. And again, it is so soft. Maybe the surprise is a pony. That would be nice. Yeah, so I think that this is a nice kit that would be really, really good for, I mean, I don't think it's there's something juvenile about it. I think that but I think that there's could still be a really good kit for like a teenager or an adult that's beginning to knit. Just because I think that it's sort of low, with like a smaller project, it's low stress. It's not intimidating to try to keep up with using it each month, at least, yeah, to me. So I think that if someone is curious and sort of wants exposure to maybe like I don't know how much variety there is. I wish I could find pictures of past months, but I think that, so I forgot when they first reached out to me. Maybe around March or something, or the end of February, I think. And so, but I think this was on like hiatus for a little bit and then came back. So yeah, I think that I'm very like, I mean, so if you go and you look at the box, because, I was saying reviews, on the FAQ page, there were like some complaints, which is probably a place where those would show up. The reviews were, like over 4 stars on the actual subscription box itself. I was going through and reading some of the like 1 and 2 star reviews just because I wanted to see what some of the people were complaining about and then see like if that was anything that I observed. And so some of the things that I observed were, some people said that there weren't labels on the yarn. There's a label on the yarn. Nothing seemed to be missing. I had my patterns here. I had my needles, and there's no odor coming from it. Would I consider getting another box? So I don't know if I'm going to get another box. So I didn't, so just like full disclaimers, I didn't pay for this. Darn Good Yarn sent me this as a sample so that way I could share it. So I guess, would I necessarily go and buy one for myself? Maybe not. Would I be happy if another one showed up, and would I play with the yarn? Yeah, absolutely. Is my honest answer. But I think mainly because like I guess for me, like I tend to do more projects that require more yarn, and I prefer patterns that are a little more advanced or have. I mean, I like a good garter. I mean, this wasn't quite stockinette or something, but I like a good garter stitch project. But I like there to be some twist to it. So there's 2 needles and a crochet hook. Yes. Like I think that it's a beautiful box. It's just not necessarily the best one for me. Yeah, so there's a crochet hook and 2 needles, which I think is really, really cool. And I mean, the needles are my favorite color, and I don't use size 8s a lot. And like with worsted, I tend to go down. Tend to like a tighter gauge, so I tend to go down to like 6 or 5. But I mean, I'll totally use these. I like that it's like a shorty set, because I use my double pointed needles a lot for flat knitting too, and they're about like this length. So, but the crochet hook I think is almost a little longer than some of my crochet hooks, but it feels like comfortable in my hand. I don't think I have a completely round crochet hook. Like I think most of mine have like the little flat place in them. So yeah, if any of you get this, I'd be curious to hear what you think. But there is, so my link, which gives me credit for you guys doing it. My link is in the video description. And yeah, it's funny, I don't have most of my flat needles I inherited from both sets of my grandmothers and stuff. So it's fun to have. I always need more needles. I haven't reached the saturation point with that. I mean, I guess I don't need them, but these are sufficiently different from the ones that I have that I'm excited. So my affiliate link is in the video description, and Darn Good Yarn gave me a coupon to share with you guys. So 15% off your first box, which would bring it down from $10 to $8.50. And then I think shipping within the US is $3.95. I don't know what international shipping would be, but from what I know, it could be like, international shipping is probably pretty expensive. It's probably at least double that for Canada, but I'm not sure. Yes, it would work. It would work really nicely for a narrow Tanzanian crocheting project, which that's something I've only ever tried once. But yeah, the length and the evenness of the needle, it's like it would hold, you know, some good stitches. So now wait a minute. I don't think I've ever seen a size 8 crochet hook though. So what letter is a 5mm crochet hook? That I don't know. So I don't know what letter this corresponds to, you guys. I'm like, oh no, I don't know the answer. H? Okay, you guys rock. I was looking at like, yeah, I use H a lot. It's funny, with crochet, I tend to go a little looser than I do with knitting. So yeah, this actually could get a fair amount of use, and it's not too pointy, which is good. I don't think you'd really split. Like they've got a good point, but maybe more like a dull pencil, so you won't stab yourself horribly with them, and you're probably not going to split yarns. Okay, well, if 3 of you guessed H, then I'm going with H. It's your favorite hook size? Yeah. Yeah, so right. So I mean, these are like the size 8, like they're all like the exact same width. But yeah, I was like, because I'm not used to thinking of hooks with the number sizes that they do for needles. I mean, it would just make sense if they would just use the millimeter size for all of it, and there weren't these other conventions. But yeah, that is what it is, right? But anyway, I think that this is a delightful little kit, and you know, I think that everything that's in here is absolutely worth the $10 for the kit. Yeah, I think so. I honestly don't know if they're sending me another one next month to open up. Because I am curious. So one of the things, because it didn't really seem to say on the website, is it said you would get one skein of yarn, but it wasn't entirely clear how much of the yarn that you would be getting. They do say that this is enough to make the projects that they share in the booklet. And so again, the projects are, so I guess they're calling this one a Ripples necklace is their crochet project. And then it's like a snow big deal cowl, which is like a sort of like a slip stitch. Like if you were going to do it's like a slip stitch heel on a sock, which would be warm and cozy. The model looks fun. Maybe there will be more for bigger projects. Yeah, so what I don't know is if there are bigger projects. So I guess if I was going to make an assumption off of this one, then I would assume that that maybe you get a 50-gram skein of yarn in each box. As far as like what the mystery gift is in each box, I have no idea what variation there is there. Someone at one point said that they got some washi tape, I think, which I'm not sure if that was something that would be part of the project that came with it or what. So the one thing here that's really throwing me off is, is because it's got like this first box stuff mentions. And so that, therefore, I don't know if something about the first box is different. You might order to ease your curiosity. For science, well, no obligation. But if you are going to order, because I mean, this is really soft and beautiful. If you are interested in ordering, please use my link that's in the video description, and don't forget to use the code ChemKnits15 so you can get a discount on your order. But I think that, I really wasn't necessarily expecting to get like needles and yarn, so I'm pretty impressed about that. Yeah, I will ask them. You mean about to see if like this is what everyone gets for May? Maybe if they had a cheaper yarn. Yeah, so I mean, if they said that this box is a $30 value and the box of needles has $20 on it, so then I don't know if the value of the yarn is less than 10. I'm assuming then that based on that the value of the yarn would be less than 10. I don't know if they're putting some value on the patterns. So yeah, I mean, I know that I personally would have preferred maybe, 2 skeins of yarn instead of the needles, just because I think that would go further. But I think that like it could, like if every box comes with the needles that you need to make it, then that's actually a pretty cool system. Or if at least your first box comes with needles that you'll be able to use for most of the projects that come with it, that's also something that's kind of neat, because then it really makes it a lot more accessible to someone who doesn't have tools in their closet. So I think that this is a darling little kit. Yeah, it's not necessarily like the best fit for me personally, but I could see, depending on like what the answers are for like what the other boxes are like, I could see potentially giving this as a gift. Yes, I will ask them, and then I'll update something in the comments, and I'll share the answers on Facebook about the difference between the first box and then subsequent ones. I mean, I would assume that this was just the May box for everyone, except for the fact that it said first box on it in a couple places. I mean, it would make sense. Aw, okay, this is cute. It says it was packed with love by, and then like there's the name of the person that packed the box. So that's cute. So there are things that are sort of like a nice little touch in here. And I mean, I don't want to lose my needles already. In the book. Oh, okay, I missed it. So it is 100% reclaimed silk. It was hand dyed at a co-op in southern India. So she wanted to show up the sweet rainbow with a simple but powerful cowl. So they recommend when you're blocking this yarn to add some white vinegar to your cold water to help, it says to help get rid of any residual fiber dust and ensure the closest the closet staple and lay flat. Okay, so I guess I sort of missed it at the beginning that there's a letter from the founder that talks a bit more about the yarn. And so what we were curious about what it was. So it is reclaimed silk. But so that's really nice. I like that they make the origin. I also like that they make the origin of where the yarn and needles come from very, very clear. And so, yeah, I will definitely, I'll contact them with those questions. I think cold and dry and lay flat to dry. Yeah, hand wash cold, which is what I would expect for a silk yarn. Oh no, it's frozen? Uh-oh. Is it that way for everybody? I'm still here. Yeah, hey, I mean, this was an easy one for me to do because I reached out to them. I was like, hey, would you like to send me a sample so that way I can see what you guys are like? Okay. And so, yeah, so it was, it was just, I was actually nervous to reach out and ask, but I'm really glad that they sent this to me because, when they invited me in, they do, I think, have a few bare yarns. Like sometimes they have some raw, silk yarns and stuff in their store, which is why I first started looking into them to begin with. Since predominantly we do a lot of dyeing, so I was curious about that. But I am, you had a small glitch? Okay. I am very curious. Oh, my foot. The boot. Feeling good today. Yesterday I was not feeling so good, but today I'm feeling better. So hopefully I didn't overdo it. If you don't want to work with wool, is silk the best yarn to dye? That's a hard one. Silk takes a lot of other not protein fibers like silk and alpaca take longer to dye. Wool tends to soak up the dye really quickly. But you can still dye both with food coloring. Yeah, you went up close? So it's a single ply worsted weight and it is soft, soft, soft. Hi everyone. I'm so glad so many of you were able to tune in. But yeah, anyway, so we got my gorgeous ombre. Okay, I love ombre. I love purple. If you're gonna send me this purple box and purple needles, I will be excited. So this was a fun sample, but I will definitely ask them if the needles, if this is the May box, it's May, right? Yeah, if this is the May box that everybody gets, or if the first time box is different in some kind of way. Oh, so this is the first box that everybody gets. Okay. Your subscription came in a soft envelope. This is my first month. Oh, you didn't get a notification for the live stream? That's too bad. Oh yeah, I'm sure the cost of postage to Australia would be really, really high for this one. Okay, it would make sense that this would be the first box that everyone would get. I do know that they took I don't know if maybe they were out of first boxes or they took something offline for a while. So we were communicating in February and then and then last month they were like, okay, we've got things up and running. We've got it up and running again. Use it in a shawl. Yeah, I think it would be cool with, it could be a cool edging on something mixed with almost any other kind of yarn. So you only get needles and hook in the first box. Okay, so then I wonder what the mystery item is in subsequent boxes. So maybe that means you get more yarn in some of the other ones. The other thing that I will caution is that, and so maybe that's why it takes a while. So when you get your first one, I'll ask them about this. When you get your first box, you know, I guess it takes like a couple weeks to get into the system. So therefore, if you sign up today, you'll get the May box, or you'll probably get this box in a couple weeks. And then they won't start charging you like on the first of the month until July. So then you wouldn't get a June box because to give you sufficient time to sort of receive your May box and know that you like it, I guess. So that's something to, I've seen that there's some confusion of people of like, wait, why didn't I get a box in the second month? And so that's the why in there. But yeah, so I'll go ask, but I guess, okay, so if this is the first box, then I would guess that if you're signing up for the first time, this is what you would receive. If you are already a subscriber, I am very, very curious to hear what you got for May. And I hope that if you're watching this video, that then you'll leave it in the video description. Because I guess I had assumed that this would be the May box. But yeah, I am very, very curious. So, and I have no idea if they'll send me another one. And so if I'll get one in June or if I'd get one in July or something, I have honestly no idea. But I will certainly go and ask all these questions. Yes, I know that they employ people with intellectual disabilities to help. I guess probably help packaging, help with the packaging of the boxes and stuff. And so it seems like, you know, they really are a company that's trying to like, you know, involve communities and help people be involved with, you know, crafts and things like that are very positive. So, yeah, but if you guys have any other questions that you want me to ask, feel free to leave them on the comments of this video and I will reach out and ask my contact. Your May box, was a beautiful green twist lace weight silk and tassels for a scarf pattern. Ooh, so were the tassels then the like bonus thing? That's cool if it's like a notion that would work with. So how much, I'm curious, so Julie, how much yarn was there? Inquiring minds want to know. Oh, no worries, Dawn. Yeah, but I like that it came from New York. So it says, have a fun surprise every month. Okay, so that's why, because when it was like, ooh, first order. Oh no. 50, okay, so it was 50 grams then. 50 grams but 150 yards because it was lace weight. Yeah, so then that's more like yardage to do something with. But it's cool that they're, if the notions are like that, or the surprise stuff that's in here, like sort of coordinates with the patterns, and that's pretty fun. But anyway, I am going to sign off. Again, if you're interested in picking up one of these, I guess if it's your first month, you can expect something like this. And then there's probably some variety for months after that. But in this first box, I got 2 patterns. This gorgeous rainbow single ply worsted weight recycled silk. And then 2 needles and a crochet hook. Oh yeah, the box is adorable. I'm just gonna try to keep my, oh no. Okay, yeah, so the box is absolutely adorable. I'm sure there's a Ravelry group that would talk about what the monthly stuff is, but the box is just so much fun. Yeah, but so I think that it's really cool, but I'll go and ask the questions and see if I can get a little more information. Yeah. All right. I'm going to get going. I hope you guys all have a fantastic evening. And thank you. It's been a busy few days with a bunch of unboxings for me. I don't think there's going to be anything delivered for a little while, but hopefully, okay, with any luck, I have some filming I need to do tomorrow. And so if that goes well, then I might try to do my big like celebration live stream that I had to postpone on Friday. So we'll see how the foot's doing, but fingers crossed that we might have like if I know it's gonna, I would probably know on Wednesday or Thursday if it's gonna happen. So I will probably schedule that if that's gonna go down. Yeah, I hope you guys all have a fantastic evening, and thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are awesome. You always make this a lot of fun. I thought this was going to be like a really short one, but then you guys get me chatting, so I'm having fun. So thank you. Good night, everyone. Oh yeah, and again, the link, my affiliate link, is in the video description, and use the code ChemKnits15 for 15% off your first month if you would like to pick up one yourself. But anyway, good night, everyone.